I'm a big believer that the quickest way to make sale online is through webinars. So I like doing webinars.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it gives people the chance to kind of see who you are.
Yep.
And to see what kind of content you deliver.
Today we have Keith Yackey. His mantra is no regrets, which is why, after building an 8-figure real estate investing firm in only 2 years, Keith went on to teach thousands of other investors how to do the same. He started an online education company teaching people how to raise money for real estate deals, and then he's also the creator of the Amplify Live experience, which is a unique live 4-day experience that teaches people how to find their mission, their message, passion, and purpose, and how to make profits with that passion. That is a lot of P's.
A lot of P's.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on the show.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
So let's just dive right in. What is your unique skill set, do you think, and how does that contribute to your success?
I think my unique skill set, honestly, is people. I'm a people person. And I've always been very interested and genuinely curious about people. Like, why do you do what you do? What makes you happy?
Yeah.
That type of stuff. And so I think, like the old adage, right? If you want people to be interested, you know, or you want to be seen as being interesting, be interested. But I really am genuinely just very interested in people.
And so just being interested in people and connecting with them contributes to your success because...
Oh, yeah, the second part of the question?
That's
right. Well, I'm super interested, so therefore, like, I'm genuinely curious. I want to know how you did something, why you did it.
Yeah.
And then I think I'm a really quick learner in saying, okay, that's what it takes.
Yeah.
I'm going to go do the same. So like, I'm the best student any of my mentors have ever had, because I just said, what are the 3 things I need to do? Cool, I'll talk to you when I go do those 3 things, or if I have any questions doing them.
Yeah.
And I just quickly implement. So super curious, tell me what you're going to do, and I'm going to go do it.
Yeah, interesting.
Yeah.
That's so different than me because I have read so many books. I've got like walls of books. I've read them all, and somehow I just like do not learn from those things. The only value that I get from them is that like when I go and make the mistake myself, I'm like, oh shit, I remember the book I read that was trying to teach me that thing. I wish I was a better student in that way.
That's, you know what, I would say that's my superpower.
Yeah.
I'm a great student.
Awesome.
Yeah, even though in school I didn't really like it.
Yeah.
I got good grades. But I was there more for the social act. I'm more of a social guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. So you got your Amplify Live business.
Yeah.
You still have your real estate business going?
Yeah, the funnels are flowing.
Just funnels are flowing. So what's working today to bring you customers?
Facebook, cold traffic.
Cold traffic to Facebook?
Yeah, cold traffic. People that went to our event are telling others.
Okay.
But yeah, like, hey, me and my now 3 other friends have to come. We liked what happened. We want to come back.
Yeah.
And then I'm a big believer that the quickest way to make sale online is through webinars. So I like doing webinars.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it gives people the chance to kind of see who you are.
Yep.
And to see what kind of content you deliver.
Yeah. All right. So let's just talk this through.
Okay.
So it's cold traffic, Facebook ads, driving people to a webinar sign-up page.
Yep.
And the webinar is pitching what?
Depending on like if it's Amplify.
Let's just talk about Amplify for now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that was actually not a webinar move. I did partner webinars for that.
Yeah.
And my big strategy that I actually didn't learn from anybody or hear from anybody, but I thought this might be a great tactic, was rather than go for big names, and I mean, you can get to know the big names if you are socially adept and what have you, but to me, their promotion schedule's full. They're not looking for a no-name entity yet to try and promote. So I said, what if there was some smaller names, even though I hate to say that, but you know what I mean? Like, they're smaller tribes. They're not like the Brendan Burchards or the Jeff Walkers of this space, but yet they still have cool tribes and raving fans. So I said, hey, what if I went to them and said, you know what? We're putting on this event. We got Gary Vaynerchuk coming out and some other really cool people. Would you like to be on stage with them? And if so, why don't we joint venture together? And that was what I found actually be the most successful technique to fill it.
To fill that live, event.
Yeah.
All right, so let's go back to the webinar thing. So now we're talking then about your real estate business.
Yeah.
And so we're driving traffic to a landing page that says, join our webinar. Are these automated webinars?
I've always done live ones. We're actually going to go into automation here real soon. And the reason why I did live, I've probably done close to 30 live ones.
Okay.
Is because every one I learn a little something better.
Yeah.
And I just want like the highest conversion live I can possibly get. To then take it in automation. But I love automation because I'm actually tired of doing live ones.
I'll bet. So these are, is it video or is it slides?
I will do a little talking head at the beginning, but then I go to the slide deck. I would rather do talking head, but conversions are like not even a third of doing the slide deck. And
Slide
I don't know
deck
why
is
that
all
is.
about, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Distracting
talking head
or-
just like they tank.
They
So I
tank.
stopped, but I
Okay.
tried. I
Then
tried
it's-
every little move.
It must be you.
I must. Yes, they're like, get that guy off. Go back to the Helvetica font.
Exactly. So, and then it's educational.
Yeah.
Educational, and then a pitch at the end.
There's actually, there's a tool. So I think the reason why we have such a high converting webinar is,
Yep.
it's, yes, here's our modules on how to teach you how to raise private money. And then the bonuses are, hey, here's a tool, which is a proof of funds, and then there's a lender list. So I went and done all the scraping and digging and corralling of the information that they're going to have to go do anyway. And I've saved them a ton of time and said, oh, by the way, here's a bonus to this. So I think that has why people resonate. They're like, yeah, we want to learn it, but oh my gosh, you've also done a bunch of stuff for us, and you now have put it in front of us. Yeah.
So that's like to get them to stick around till the end.
Yeah.
And then you make some kind of offer. So
Yeah.
that's the model, and that's what's working best.
Yeah, and I was shocked at how well it worked.
How long does it take you to figure? I keep asking these questions because we just had Neil Patel on the show last week, and he basically said the same exact thing.
Yeah.
It's all about webinars. How long did it take you to make that work, from like the first time you did it to successful?
Probably 4 or 5 webinars in. I didn't make any sales my first 1 or 2 webinars. I made like a sale my 3rd webinar, and I just kept tweaking. I'm like, if some of these other, this is kind of maybe why I'm a good student, because I go, if these bozos can do it, why can't I? Like,
That's
so
the
that way I'm like,
entrepreneurial
I'm
spirit right
gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
And then when I figure it out, then I'll probably keep tweaking with it then to see if I can get it better.
Even better, yeah. So 4th, 5th time, all of a sudden it started to work.
Started working well enough to where I'm like, okay, I'm making my ad spend back plus profit.
Awesome. And then and you're doing them every week, or?
Yeah, I just stopped them so that we could automate them. And I don't know if you're like this or not, but I kind of go through like gung-ho seasons and then no thank you seasons. Like this last kind of month and a half for me has been like a chill. Like, I'm not doing any live webinars. I'm ramping up for a new project I got going on that's in the same exact space but with some different partners. And so I've kind of been in that like relaxation mode a bit. And but like this last week I've been in gung-ho mode. So now I'm back in gung-ho. So we'll be having those launched, but an automated version of it here soon.
Cool.
Yeah.
So how long have you been in business?
I started investing almost 9 years ago.
9
And
years.
I had a construction company for a little while before that.
Okay, so 10, 12 years you've been at it.
I mean, when I was 22, I started my first business, and I did that for about 6, 8 years. And I only actually went into working for somebody else for about 6 months to a year, because they told me I was going to take over that business. So I had to go learn it.
Yeah.
So since I've been 22, so I'm 30, almost 16 years.
Good.
With a hiatus.
So we learn a lot over the course of 16 years, obviously, trying and banging our heads against walls and having successes and failures. If you could kind of like go back and give yourself a piece of advice, what would be the thing that would have made the biggest difference for you, do you think?
I would have told myself to believe in myself a lot longer, way before then. I ran into a couple of situations where I actually partnered up with some guys that actually my self-confidence, I lost self-confidence. And it's because I kind of teamed up with them, and they're like, I'm the number 1 guy, you sit in the, and so it kind of overshadowed some of my talents that I thought I was good at. But then I started, and maybe I'm not that good at this. But once I broke away from those personalities, I realized, no, dude, that is your superpower. So I wish I could tell myself back at 22, this is your superpower, stick to it, and be wary of like not good people. Because I've sometimes have been linked up with some great personalities. The front of the house is great personality, but they're kind of like just not great people behind the house, behind the curtain. And I would say, be wary of those guys. You can go make a quick buck with them, but it might hurt who you are. And that actually did happen to me. I became somebody I didn't necessarily want to become.
That's not good. So, so you mentioned that this kind of experience hurt your confidence. And there's been a lot of people on this show talking about how important their confidence is. How do you kind of like protect your confidence as an entrepreneur when you like run into these experiences with people that may not be like the most supportive, or situations that undermine you just because you're failing? And I think that as entrepreneurs we kind of agree that confidence is like a foundational piece of this whole thing. But like we're faced with stuff that digs at it constantly. How do you like make sure to protect that for yourself?
For me, it's people. I'm pretty extroverted. I feed off of the energy of people. And the more I've been around people that are encouraging and saying, hey, even if this isn't working, that doesn't mean that you're not still great at X, Y, or Z. For me, losing confidence or gaining confidence has always been around the people. Now I really believe it, like I really believe it.
Yeah.
Not that it couldn't be shaken. I guess maybe put in the wrong situation, there's some adaptability there. But man, to me, it's 100% of the people I'm around.
Yeah.
Because the couple of individuals that I was around where I lost my confidence, it was, I look back now and go, dude, that environment was
So
surrounding environment.
Yeah. Surround yourself with people
100%. Like my wife is super supportive. A lot of wives are. But my close friends now are like, hey, we see this in you.
Yeah.
And maybe you don't, maybe you do, but we see it. Like, don't let that light get dimmed by what anybody else is saying.
Right.
Yeah, so people.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
So what's next for you? What do you want to learn next?
That's a really good question. Wow, you just stopped me right in my verbal tracks. I want to get better. And this might sound funny, but this is something super intriguing to me, and I'm actually taking stand-up comedy lessons for it, is because I find that I do a lot of public speaking, and I want to continue to do more in bigger venues and bigger platforms and all that.
Yeah.
I want to be able to know, because I think humor is that door that opens up for real like knowledge to come in, and I think that everybody likes sitting in a humorous talk.
Yeah.
And so I want to be able to know, like a stand-up comedian can go out night after night and go, I can make these people laugh and I can really make them enjoy this. So for me, I want to know every single, so sometimes you're killing it.
Yeah.
And the information's great and everybody's laughing and think, oh my gosh, this is so entertaining and enlightening.
Yeah.
And then sometimes you're up there like, this is very enlightening, but nobody's entertained, and so now they're checking their phones like, this is boring.
Yep.
I want to know that I can hit that every time.
Yeah.
So that's really, I mean, I'm literally taking classes with my daughter. She's 13 because she really likes it too.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
And so that's our daddy-daughter days. Now we go to improv, comedy, and acting classes.
Oh my gosh, so that's so cool because you as an entrepreneur, we got to be strategic, right? About how we spend our time, and it's so interesting for you. You're like, look, I want to do this thing, which is public speak. This is going to be how I'm going to grow my business. Yeah. And so like step, and all of a sudden it's comedy classes. Yeah. You're just going to do whatever it takes.
And I kind of wanted to do it for a while, and I've been afraid.
It's just your thing. Oh, you've been afraid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I've always been told, man, you're really funny on stage. You should be a stand-up comedian. And I've always been afraid to do it. And so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go do it.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
So it's like that thing. Well, interestingly enough, a little over 3 years ago, something at the end of my what I'm gonna learn next year was learn how to develop a website. I have every year I go, a fear I'm gonna face this year. And there's always that thing that's kind of sticking in. You're like, I should do that. I should try that. No, I'm not gonna. Yeah. Learning how to do a website was a little over 3 years ago, and then I realized, and I got into, I'm like, wow, this is so much easier than I thought. And now, like, I don't know everything about websites or funnels. But I know about 99% more than about 99% of people in the world, right? Yeah. And that's kind of why we're in this space. Sure. And I was like, why was I so afraid of that?
Yeah, isn't that interesting?
So my fear I was going to face was go do stand-up comedy.
Awesome.
And I've been telling friends I've been going to do it for years, and they're like, oh, we got to be at your first show. I'm like, no, don't come to my first show. It's gonna be horrible. Yeah. They're like, no, we got to be there for you. I'm like, I actually don't want you there. So
well, that's what I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, don't come. Okay. But we'll have somebody video it.
What would you like to have be your legacy?
I want people, and I don't think I always hit this, but I would want people to say, the guy actually really cared. Like they would be like, if I'm around Keith, he's there and he actually cares about whatever it is. He wants, like, I would want my students to be like, he cares that I succeed. I would want my wife to be like Keith was all in on this marriage. I want my kids to be like, he was all in as a dad. So I would want my legacy to be like, Keith was all about what he was about. And I would want, and this is really like my mantra in life, is when people walk away to be like, I'm really glad I spent time with him. It doesn't always happen, but I want it to. That would really what I want to be.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We call this thing Modern Entrepreneur. What does it mean to you to be a modern entrepreneur?
A modern entrepreneur to me is, I love that. That's my favorite one right now. That's my favorite. Because the old day entrepreneur was the steel barons, the railroad guys, the Rockefellers, that type of feel. And I think the modern entrepreneur is saying, hey, listen, the biggest microphone is the internet. There's a way you can get your voice out, and you can do it through a whole host of mediums. I mean, you and I both met people that, you know, sell bikinis online. We have people that sell information on how to take a beat up, you know, camper trailer and fix it, and they make money. Like, so modern entrepreneurs, you can make money doing anything online today from anywhere. And I think that is so freeing. And the thing for me, I knew I had a potential to be somebody and do something for my life, whatever that is. We won't know until my last breath. But I think, wow, the internet has made it so much easier to do those things. And so that's what I love about being a modern entrepreneur is you don't have to look like the entrepreneurs of old. And I frankly don't think you're either an entrepreneur or you're not. I think a lot of us dabble in a lot of different things, and we're just saying, can I do that? And now the barrier to entry is so much easier that people can try things that I don't think they would have ever tried before.
Totally. So
and I love that.
It's like those, you know, steel barons, you know, controlled the sort of means of production and all the resources. And now today we have the internet. The means of production is free for everybody. So it's like a whole grassroots kind of experience around entrepreneurship that just couldn't happen before.
And I think that's why MLMs have, I'm not an MLM, but I think that's why they've always had such a popular foothold amongst so many people, is because there's low barrier of entry. And so they can get into business without having to say, you know what, we're going to build a steel plant for $1 million and we're going to roll out, and hopefully this $2 million investment in people and everything else, we hope it works. They were able to quick entry. So I think that's now quick entry, low barrier entry has now come across so many different boards. We can literally take a video and put it on YouTube, and we're producing. And you're like, that didn't happen. That didn't even happen 10, 15 years ago. So that is what really excites me. When my daughter comes to me at 13 and says, I want to do a YouTube channel teaching other people how to get through X, Y, or Z, and I'm like, you used to have to be a Disney star to do that. Now you can be your own. I freaking love that. That's what that means to me.
Awesome. Cool. Thank you so much for being here. Will you sign our wall?
Yes, I would love to.
I talk about brand being a desired perception. That's the definition that I use, right? It's not your logo, it's not your tagline. It's about a desired perception. And the flip side to that coin is that in order for people to have a desired perception in the marketplace, that they must first have that same perception of themselves. And so in terms of a legacy, on a very simplistic way of articulating the big grandiose vision, is just having people really own who they are and having that be on loudspeaker.